Hi gang, let's address this last phase of programming 4. And we're going to start out, we're going to add a table in here. A table, insert table. And I want my table to be, let's say 7 by 3 will accommodate the controls for scenario 2-1. Click OK. There's our table. Now, let's take the top 3 cells, highlight, right click, modify, merge the cells. Let's call it, and put validation. Alright, from there, let's see, we want name, address, phone, zip code, hobbies, and then the last one, we'll leave room for a submit button down there. Let's highlight all those cells. And let's change the width of all of them. Okay. And go to our toolbox. Let's start dropping some controls in there. We'll put a button down here in the bottom cell. And we need a text box for the name. Another one for the address. Third for the phone, a fourth for the zip code, and a checkbox list for hobbies. Alright, I won't deal with any of the attributes associated with these at this point. I'll deal with that when we do scenario 2-1. Go ahead and highlight those cells and we'll change the width. And now we've got the 3 columns. This far right column is going to be for the validation controls, so that will address everything we need. By default, that button's got a gray background. Let's make it a little bigger so we can see it. And by default, it's got that standard gray background. Let's go look at the source. There it is. Button ID, button 2. That's run at server, text is button. We want to add some code to this in which we're going to programmatically, using the skin, change the different attributes associated with that button. Okay. Now, I start out, got my button here, ID button 2. Now, go from there. I'll say CSS class equals the class I want to use, call my button. Right. Now, look back at Explorer. We've got our button skin there. By default, you had some text in here. I've deleted it, but the fact that text that was there is just commented out anyway. So let's take this line of code for a button. We'll copy it. Let's drop it in here. And our button skin. Get the ID. Let that go away. And our text and width. Make that go away. But we're going to add in here, let's change the background color. So back color, and let's give it a red. Okay. Save the skin. Let's look at design. Now, think about where I changed that. I changed that in the skin. I didn't change it in the source code. Okay. Now, there's the source code for it right there. So if we look at, design, go look at the properties for that. Back color, there's no setting. So we programmatically changed that skin over here in the button skin. I can go into that skin, and let's give it that pretty blue one that they chose. And that's pound 509EE7. That's a blue background. I go to default now. Oh, gotta save it. Go to default. Lagging on my update. Go ahead and run it. We should have a light blue now. Okay, here's our page loading up. And there it is, it's the blue. Like I said, the update on the IDE was lagging a bit. So I changed it from the default gray to this shade of light blue. And I changed that in the skin. Now we see, here's our table laid out. We don't have any background, but it's a good way to lay out the objects. We could use divs, but for me, I'm able to go through and modify the size easier this way. Now, if I was worried about controlling the appearance of these objects within here, I may be better suited to use a div and then have some IDs and then use style sheets to change the appearance that way. But for now, for what we're dealing with, just using a table to organize our controls on here. Okay, so we're going to deal with the validation and the functionality here in another assignment, but for this we've got our skin working and we've got our table there. Okay, you see our menu still working from before, our images, we've got the theme, master page is all laid out. So we've come a long way in this one assignment. That's it for